Hi everyone. In this presentation, I will explain about the mesh analysis of circuit containing dependent sources. So next we will go to problems and in those problems this question will contain dependent sources. Up to this point we have discussed about mesh analysis and super mesh analysis. And we studied about how we can apply mesh analysis to a closed circuit that is containing voltage sources, and we also studied how can we solve a circuit that containing voltage source and current sources. In that case we are using super mesh analysis. Okay, in the previous sessions we have studied about mesh analysis of circuits that are containing only voltage sources, and also we have studied about the super mesh analysis. In those circuits voltage source and current sources will be there. So next section is mesh analysis of circuit containing dependent sources. So in these circuits there will be dependent sources. That means if a voltage source is dependent, that means its voltage value may be dependent on another voltage present at any part of the circuit, or its voltage value may be dependent on current that is passing through any part of the circuit. Okay, based on that there will be two voltage source, voltage dependent voltage source and current dependent voltage source. Similarly there will be current source are there which are also dependent, and those current source are current dependent current source and voltage dependent current source. So first of all let us go to a problem, and we know the techniques how to solve a circuit by using mesh analysis, that is by simply applying KVL or Kirchhoff's voltage law. So next we will go to a problem, and the question is that what is the question? Use mesh analysis to find Vx in the circuit shown below. So the circuit diagram is given. So you are asked to find out the Vx, that is V suffix x in the circuit shown below, and look at the circuit. The circuit contains a 30-volt battery and a resistor whose value is 16.67 ohm, and it is shown that the potential drop across the resistor is Vx, and its sign is also marked, and then there is a resistor 33.33 ohm, and a current source having magnitude 4.45 ampere is connected in parallel to that resistor, and again there is a resistor 25 ohm, and a voltage source of 10 volt is connected in series with the 25 ohm, and there is another source. What is that source? You know from the symbol it is a dependent source. Okay, and you can clearly see in that it is marked minus plus, so it is a inside the symbol it is marked that minus plus, so it is a voltage source. Okay, if an arrow mark is showing inside that symbol, then it is will be a current source. So from the symbol you can see that it is a dependent source, and from the marking you can find that it is a voltage source. Okay, so its voltage value is 2Vx. What is its meaning? Its voltage value is not an integer value. Okay, it is not a number, but it is given that its voltage value is 2Vx. What is its meaning? That dependent source having a voltage value 2 into Vx, that is its voltage value depends upon the voltage at Vx. That means its voltage value depends upon the potential drop across a 16.67 ohm resistor. Okay, that is meaning, that means the voltage value of this source depends upon the voltage drop across the resistor. Okay, that is why it is called a dependent source. So it is a problem that containing a dependent source. Also there are voltage source and current sources, and there is a dependent source, and it is clearly given in the question that you have to use mesh analysis. Okay, so by using mesh analysis you have to solve for Vx, that is the question. So how can you start? You know that first of all for doing mesh analysis you think first point the circuit should be planar. Is it a planar circuit or not? Yes, it is a planar circuit. And what is the second point? Second point is that we have to assume loop currents. Sorry, we have to assume loop currents. What are the loops here? There is a first loop and another loop and another loop. How many loops are there? There are 3 loops. Hello. Sorry, there are 3 loops, and you have to mark the loop currents. Loop currents can be marked as I1, I2 and I3. And what is the next step? Third step for doing mesh analysis. Third step is that you have to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to get the equation corresponding to each loop. That is the third step, okay? And this is the hints to solve this problem, okay? Let us start by solving this problem, and next slide explains how can you solve this, okay? So I am again redrawing the circuit by showing the loop currents. So the same circuit is shown here, and but the difference is that the loop currents are marked, and first loop contains and I am marking the loop number as 1, 2 and 3, okay? 2 loops, loop 1, loop 2 and loop 3 are marked. Then loop currents are assumed as I1, I2 and I3. For the loop 1, loop current is I1. For the loop 2, loop current is I2. For the loop 3, loop current is I3. So second step is finished. And what is the next step? You have to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law for each and every loop, okay? So let us start with the first loop or first mesh. So writing mesh equations for the mesh 1, okay, loop can be we can say that it is a mesh, okay. So for mesh 1, KVL, that is Kirchhoff's voltage law, can be written as what is Kirchhoff's voltage law? Algebraic sum of voltages around a closed loop will be equal to 0, okay. So you can write the equation as and you can start from the voltage source 30 volt. So it will be minus 30, right? You are starting from positive to negative terminal, so it indicates that it is a negative 30 volt, minus 30 volt, and again minus Vx, because current flows from higher potential to lower potential to minus Vx. Again, next resistor is 33.33, so the voltage drop across 33.33 is minus 33.33 I1. Is it I1 only? No. You know that through 33.33 resistor there will be current I1 flowing in one direction and I3 flowing in opposite direction. So what is the net current? Net current through 33.33 ohm will be I1 minus I3, okay? So you can write in the equation it will be minus 33.33 I1 minus I3. And what is the next step? Next is 25 ohm resistor. So what is the voltage drop across it? You know that 25 ohm resistor, one current is flowing downwards, that is I1 is flowing downwards and I2 is flowing upwards through 25 ohm, okay? So we can write the voltage drop across 25 ohm is minus 25 into I1 minus I2, and then again there is a voltage source. You can see that it goes from positive sign to negative sign, so it is minus 10. So algebraic sum of all these voltage drops will be equal to 0. So we can write an equation which is shown in the last line, minus 30 minus Vx minus 33.33 into I1 minus I3 minus 25 into I1 minus I2 minus 10 equal to 0. That is the equation. So you can multiply the terms inside the bracket with outside quantity, so you will get you know that there is minus 30 and last minus 10, so it can be solved as 40, and minus 30 minus 10 is minus 40, but if it is coming to the right hand side of equation it will become 40. So here you know that every term is negative minus sign, every term has a negative symbol, so you can simply write and right hand side contains a 0, you can simply write every term will be positive, okay? So that is simple mathematics. Okay. So OT plus Vx plus 33.I1 plus 25I1 plus minus 33.I3 minus 25I2 equal to 0. See, it's my method and you can solve yourself, and by multiplying each and every term inside the bracket with outside quantity, and you should write the equations. So my equation and your equation will be same. Okay. So this is the equation, and this is the loop equation in the case of loop 1, and again we can write it, and that equation can be rewritten as 58.33I1 minus 25I2 minus 33.33I3 equal to minus 40 minus Vx. That is equation 1. Okay. So it contains unknowns I1, I2, I3 and Vx. So we have written the first mesh equation, and next we have to consider the second mesh. Here is the second mesh, and that contains a current I2, and you can see that you have to write the KVL equation for that mesh too, and the KVL equation can be written as starting from the 10 volt battery. You can see that it goes in a way minus to plus symbol. The current flows in a manner, it starts from negative to positive. Okay, mesh current is in that direction, it is in the clockwise direction, so 10 volt will be positive. So you can write it 10, and what is the voltage drop across 25 ohm? That is minus 25 into I2 minus I1. So 10 minus 25 into I2 minus I1. What is the voltage drop across the dependent source? That is plus 2 Vx. Okay, because current flows in a clockwise direction, and it is so the sign of potential 2 Vx voltage source will be equal to positive. Okay, so you can write the equation as 10 minus 25 of I2 minus I1 plus 2 Vx equal to 0. This equation is obtained by applying KVL. You can simply apply KVL rule around that mesh or loop. So you will get this equation. Okay. And by multiplying the terms inside the bracket with the outside quantities, you will get 25I1 minus 25I2 equal to minus 10 minus 2Vx. That is equation number 2. I am multiplying the terms inside the bracket with outside quantity, and I am rearranging the terms. That is why I am getting this equation. I am not showing each and every step in the notebook. Okay, it is simple mathematics, and you can do it in your notebook, and you can solve it. Okay, that is equation number 2. So you got two equations. Sorry, what is second equation containing I1, I2 and unknown quantity Vx. So you have three unknown quantities here, so you need three equations. So what is the next step? We have applied mesh analysis for I1 mesh, I2, and next there is I3, and you can write the mesh equation for third mesh, but you know that it contains only a resistor and a current source. So we are marked the loop current I3. Okay, and you can clearly seen from the figure that I3 will be equal to 0.45 ampere, right? Since the loop contains only a resistor and a current source, the loop current will be, and also it is a closed path, loop current will be the current source, current value, current generated by the current source itself. So from that loop you can see that I3 will be equal to 0.45 ampere. So third equation will be equal to I3 equal to 0.45 ampere. Okay. So I3 is 0.45 ampere, and also you can see that Vx is in this figure, it is marked that Vx is the voltage drop across 16.67 resistor, 67 ohm resistor. Actually I am not I haven't written the ohm. Actually it is 16.67 ohm. Okay, so what is the Vx value? Vx will be equal to, what is the voltage value? Voltage is simple Ohm's law, voltage is equal to current into resistance. So Vx will be equal to, what is the current? Current through 16.67 is I1. So I1 into resistance is 16.67. So Vx will be equal to I1 into 16.67. Okay. So you can write fourth equation as 16.67 into I1 equal to Vx. These are the equations you got from the circuit diagram. Okay. So there are equation 1, equation 2, equation 3 and equation 4. Okay. Equation 1 and 2 contains I1, I2. Equation 1 contains I1, I2, I3 and Vx. Equation 2 contains I1, I2 and Vx. Equation 3 is I3 is equal to this quantity. You can substitute I3, equation 3 in equation 1 so that it will become an equation that containing I1 and I2 and Vx only. So if you are substituting equation 3 in equation 1, so equation 1 will become, that is equation 1 will become 58.33 I1 minus 25 I2 minus 33.33 I3 equal to minus 40 minus 16.67 I1. Sorry, equation also you know that sorry, I forgot to tell one point, that you can apply the value of Vx and value of I3 in equation 1. Okay, there is another variable in equation 1 that is Vx, and Vx value we have find out. Okay, we have found out that Vx will be equal to 16.67 I1. So equation 3 and 4 can be substituted in equation 1. Okay, I3 and Vx can be substituted by equation 3 and 4. Okay, so we will get an equation like this: 58.33 I1 minus 25 I2 minus 33.33 I3 equal to minus 40 minus 16.67 I1. Rearranging the terms and everything, we will get a final equation, that is 75 I1 minus 25 I2 equal to minus 25. That is fifth equation. You got an equation by simple application of Vx and I3 values in equation 1. Okay. So we got another equation, equation 5. You know that equation 5 contains I1, I2 as unknown variables. Similarly, we can substitute the Vx into equation 2 also. So we know that we from equation 4 Vx equal to 16.67 I1, and we can substitute its value in equation 2. So in the next step, equation 2 gives 25 I1 minus 25 I2 equal to minus 10 minus 2 into, instead of Vx we are writing 16.67 into I1. So by rearranging the equation we will get finally 58.34 I1 minus 25 I2 equal to 10. Okay, so there is equation number 5 and we got now equation number 6. So equation number 5 and equation number 10 contains only two variables, that is I1 and I2 only. We can easily solve these two equations. Okay, so by solving equation 5 and 6 we get, I am not explaining the solving method, that is a simpler method that you might have studied from the first year or in 10th classes, and I have given the steps to solve on the right side of this slide, right? That is I am solving this equation by simply subtracting equation 6 minus equation 5. Okay, that is given in the right side. If you want, you can go through it, and so that we can solve it as I1 equal to, by equation subtracting equation 6 from equation 5, you will get, subtract equation 5 from equation 6, you will get I1 equal to 0.9003 ampere. So you got I1 value, and what you are asked to find out is Vx. What is Vx? Vx equal to 16.67 into I1. That is we obtained from the circuit diagram itself. So we can substitute for I1 so that we will get Vx equal to 15.008 volt. So you have to understand the way or method how we are solving a circuit, and you know the simple mathematical procedure, but you have to understand how can you write the equations and how can you find out the KVL, how can you apply the KVL rule, etc. That is a core part of this problems. Okay, so first problem we solved, and next is another problem, second problem, and you can see the second question. For the circuit shown in the figure, find the current through the 10 ohm resistor by using mesh analysis. Once again, I will read the question. For the circuit shown in figure, find the current through the 10 ohm resistor by using mesh analysis. Here, look at the circuit. Contains a 15 volt battery, 10 ohm resistor, then a 2 ampere current source, another 20 volt battery, 5 ohm resistor, and there is a dependent source, 4 ohm resistor, and again a voltage source of 40 volt. Okay, you can see that this question contains voltage sources and current sources. Also there is a dependent current source. How can you find that it is a dependent source? Because its symbol shows that it is a dependent source. Okay, how can you say that it is a dependent current source? Because that symbol contains an arrowhead. Okay, so it is will be a current source. That means it is a dependent current source. So its value is 2i1. That what is its meaning? It is a dependent current source and its value depends upon the current i1. Okay, this dependent current source depends upon the value of current i1. Okay, what is the current i1? Current i1 is marked in the first loop. That is, current i1 is the loop current in the first loop. Okay, so now we are studying how can we solve the circuits that containing dependent sources, and we are using mesh analysis, and here in the question it is saying that you have to use mesh analysis. Okay, so this is a question, and you can solve this question by using mesh analysis. Okay, you can see that in this figure. Usually mesh analysis is used to solve a circuit containing larger number of voltage sources. If any of the current sources appearing in that circuit, you can go for super mesh analysis. Okay, so here you can see that here there is a current source in between the branches. Okay, so you can go for, also there is another current dependent current source in between the branches, so you can go for super mesh analysis. So here it is written that the parallel branches consist of current sources. What are the current sources? 2 ampere current source and 2i1 dependent source. So we use super mesh analysis, and the combined super mesh equation is given below. Okay, before that you clearly look at the picture, look at the question, that it contains current sources, and these current sources are in between the branches, right, in between the loops. So you, for solving this equation, you have to avoid these current sources, and you can apply super mesh analysis. Okay, that is in the previous question also. See, previous question, in the previous question also there is a current source, right, but you didn't, there is a current source, right, 0.45 ampere is a current source, but you didn't go for super mesh analysis. Why? Because that current source is not in between the branches, it is in the periphery, so we are not going for uh, super mesh analysis, right? So let us go to second question, and here is the question, and first of all we have to mark the super mesh. Okay, so for drawing the super mesh, what we have to do is we have to neglect the branches that containing current source. That means 2 ampere current source and 2i1 current source should be neglected. So the circuit diagram will be like this, that containing 15 volt, 10 ohm, 20 volt, 5 ohm, 4 ohm and 40 volt. And also there will be loop current is marked as I1, I2 and I3. There is no loop due to 2A and 2 ampere current source and 2i1 current source. Okay, so we can write the super mesh equation. So this complete circuit forms a super mesh, right, and this forms a closed path. So we can write the super mesh equation starting from 15 volt source. Okay, so starting from 15 volt it will be positive plus 15. For writing the super mesh equation also we are using KVL. In the case of mesh analysis we are using KVL. Okay, so we can apply KVL rule for writing the super mesh equation. So starting from 15 volt, you know that current I1 is in the clockwise direction and it goes through the source as negative terminal to positive terminal. So plus, it will be plus 15. For 10 ohm resistor, what is the voltage drop? It will be minus 10 into I1. Okay, and next comes the 20 volt. but 20 volt, you know that when we are moving from 15 volt to 10 ohm to 20 volt to 5 ohm to 4 ohm to 40 volt, what is its direction? The current direction will be from left to right. Our movement will be from left to right. So from left to right, what is the voltage value? That is voltage terminal from positive to negative terminal. So its value will be minus 20 volt. So minus 20 volt come in the next term. And next is the 5 ohm resistor. So voltage drop across 5 ohm resistor will be 5 into I2. But current flows from higher potential to lower potential, so it will be minus 5 into I2. And next comes the 4 ohm resistor. And in the case of 4 ohm resistor, what is the voltage drop across 4 ohm resistor? That will be minus 4 into I3. So next term is minus 4 into I3. And next is the voltage source. We can clearly see that the voltage source, the movement is from minus to positive symbol. So it will be plus 40 volt. So we can combine the equation to get the, we can apply the KVL rule to the super mesh, and we will get the equation as 15 minus 10 I1 minus 20 minus 5 I2 minus 4 I3 plus 40 equal to 0. See, I am explaining each and every terms in the equation in order to understand you the concept. Okay. In the textbook, actually these all are the solved problems in the textbook, but in the textbook they are not writing each and every step, so it will be very difficult for you to understand that problem. That is why I am explaining line by line. Okay, so you should understand it clearly, then only you can do other problems, because the questions asked in the question paper will not be same as that of I am discussed same as that I discussed in the classrooms. But if you are familiar with the different types of problems, you will get an idea how to solve an unknown problem. Okay, so you have to do each and every problem yourself, and also listen to the class. Okay, so where we stopped is that is equation, and we can simplify this equation as minus 10 I1 minus 5 I2 minus 4 I3 plus 35 equal to 0. So by changing the sign and by rearranging the terms, we will get equation 10 I1 plus 5 I2 plus 4 I3 equal to 35. That is equation number 1. And also we got this equation by super mesh analysis. There is only one equation, and also we know that there is a 2 ampere source between mesh 1 and mesh 2, and we can write the equation for 2 ampere as we know that I1 current flows downwards and I2 current flows upwards. We can write I1 minus I2 will be equal to 2 ampere. Similarly, in the case of 2 I1 dependent source current value, we know that I3 current flows upwards and I2 current flows downwards. So we can write I3 minus I2 will be equal to 2 I1. Or we can write that I2 minus I3 equal to minus 2 I1. Anything you can, in any manner you can write both are same. That is I3 minus I2 equal to 2 I1. Why I take I3 first? Because you know that 2 I1 is pointing upwards. That means I3 will be larger quantity. That is why I am taking I3 minus I2 equal to 2 I1. If you are taking I2 minus I3, you should put a negative sign. Okay, that is I2 minus I3 will be equal to minus 2 I1. Anything you can take, but you have to change the sign accordingly. Okay, so the equation are so we got three equations: I1 minus I2 equal to 2 ampere, and I3 minus I2 equal to 2 I1, and also 2 I1. We know that equation 2 can be substituted, last equation can be I3 minus I2 equal to 2 I1 can be rearranged, and we will get 2 I1 plus I2 minus I3 equal to 0. So we got three equations, and we can write three equations like this manner: 10 I1 plus 5 I2 plus 4 I3 equal to 35, I1 minus I2 equal to 2, 2i1 plus i2 minus i3 equal to 0. These are the three equations, and you know that it contains three variables. What are the three variables? I1, i2 and i3. And so, and there are three equations. You can use Cramer's rule to solve for i1, i2 and i3. For that you have to write the quotient matrix, and quotient matrix contains 10, 1, 2 in the first column, 5, minus 1, 1 in the second column, 4, 0, minus 1 in the third column. And the next matrix is I1, I2, I3, that are the variables, and the last matrix is 35, 2, 0. And this matrix is obtained from the three equation 1, 2, 3. And how can we write the quotient matrix? By taking the quotients of each and every equation. Okay, so if we are discussing in a row wise, first equation, in first equation quotient of I1 equal to 10, so the first element of matrix is 10, and quotient of I2 in the first equation, quotient of I2 is equal to 5, so the second entry in the quotient matrix is 5, and in the first equation also quotient of I3 is equal to 4, so third entry will be equal to 4. And next we will go to the second equation. In the second equation quotient of I1 is 1, so we are writing in the second fourth entry. And the next in the equation 2, the quotient of I2 equal to minus 1, so we are writing minus 1 there. And in second equation there is no I3 term, so the quotient will be 0. And we are considering third equation. Third equation quotient of I1 equal to 2, and the quotient of I2 equal to 1, and the quotient of I3 equal to minus 1. And then we will write the unknown variables I1, I2, I3 as matrix, and the right side values after the equation will write in a column wise order, that is 35, 2 and 0. So this is the matrix form, and we can use, so this is the matrix, and we can use Cramer's rule. By Cramer's rule we can write I1 equal to, how can we get I1? For getting I1 we are replacing the first column of quotient matrix by values 35, 2, 0. So we can write I1 will be equal to determinant of 35, 2, 0, 5 minus 1, 1, 4, 0 minus 1 divided by determinant of quotient matrix. What is the determinant of quotient matrix? That is 10, 1, 2, 5 minus 1, 1, 4, 0 minus 1. So we can find out the determinant. How can we take the determinant? You know that. How can we take a determinant? For taking the determinant, first of all, first column and first row will be neglected. 35 into, and a determinant of minus 1, 0, 1 minus 1 will be taking. And for the second column we will assign a symbol minus 5, and we are neglecting first row and second column, and we rest of the determinant of the rest of the numbers will be taking. And next term is plus 4 into determinant of, we are neglecting first row and third column, we are taking the determinant of 2 minus 1, 0, 2. That is the procedure for writing solving this determinants. And finally we got the value 1.96 ampere, I1 equal to 1.96 ampere. So you are asked to what was your question? For the circuit shown in figure, find the current through the 10 ohm resistor. You are asked to find out the current through the 10 ohm resistor. Where is 10 ohm resistor? 10 ohm resistor is the first resistance, and current through the 10 ohm resistor is I1. So you can find out I1 by applying Cramer's rule. Okay, so you got the value of I1 as 1.96 ampere. Okay, so next is a homework, and the question is that in the circuit shown in figure, find the power delivered by the 4-volt source using mesh analysis and voltage across the 2 ohm resistor. In the circuit shown in figure, find the power delivered by the 4-volt source. Circuit, first of all you look at the circuit. There is a 4-volt source, then a 5 ohm resistor, and a 5 ampere current source, 1 ohm resistor, 4 ohm resistor, V2 by 2 is a dependent source, and a 2 ohm resistor and a 6 ohm resistor. That is the circuit. That is, circuit contains a voltage source of 4-volt battery. It contains a current source of 5 ampere. Again it contains a voltage source. Sorry, it is not a voltage source. because it is a dependent source and there is an arrow mark inside the dependent source, so it is a current source. So there is a current source having value V2 by 2. What is this current source? It is a voltage controlled current source. Okay, what is that? Voltage controlled current source. How can you say that it is a voltage controlled current source? Since its symbol shows that it is a current source, but you know that that current value will be equal to V2 by 2. That means the current through that source depends upon the voltage V2. What is voltage V2? V2 is the voltage across 2 ohm resistor. Okay, so it is a voltage dependent current source. So the circuit contains current sources, 2 current sources and 1 voltage source, and it contains a dependent source, current source. So you are asked to find out power delivered by the 4 volt source using mesh analysis and the voltage across the 2 ohm resistor. So you have to find out two quantities, 4 volt power delivered by the 4 volt battery and also voltage across 2 ohm